Welcome to another fascinating episode. Well, I say another fascinating episode. It's the first episode, really proper, of the 6-Star Business Podcast, where what you're doing, where we explore what it means to operate and deliver and create and run and be a 6-star business.
Yes, and on this episode, we have two amazing humans. Their names are Joanne Brooks and Matt Kreis, and they're going to bring to you their amazing genius, wisdom, experience from their vast lives so far, and share with us some things that we were not expecting.
Yeah, I think one of the highlights for me was we started off talking about what it means to be a 5-star business, and their view was that just giving that rating for a service is not enough. Actually, responding to a 6-star business requires a much more proactive approach. But you hear all that and more on the episode to come. Really excited to bring the 6-Star Business Podcast to you. Even more excited to start that conversation journey with this conversation with Matt Kreis and Joanne Brooks. So without much further ado, here we go.
Here we go.
So welcome to 6-Star Business Podcast. This is the first one to be recorded. Whether it's the first one to be released, it depends how Matt and Joanne, it depends how good you are.
No pressure.
But I'm one of your co-hosts, Peter Daly-Dixon, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Evelyn Clark. Say hello, Evelyn.
Hi, Pete. Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Evelyn.
And with us on this episode are two amazing humans that we've got to know over the last few weeks, Matt Kreis and Joanne Brooks. G'day, guys.
hello.
Pete, how you doing?
And like Sesame Street, one of these things is not like the other. I'm the odd one out here because you three are all in Australia, and I'm in a completely different part of the world.
Indeed.
Joanne, where are you based?
I'm based Gold Coast, Queensland. Sunny Gold Coast, a nice spot.
Great.
Very nice.
And tell us and our listeners a little bit about what makes Joanne, and
Sure.
what your business does and who you serve.
Yes, no problem at all. So, Joanne Brooks, 20, 30 years in business, ranging from commercial finance to adult education. My business is Navigate Biz, and that is a platform to create a community for small business up to 500,000. And it's about educating business owners who have a passion about the product that they sell, but they don't necessarily have the skill set to build the business that sits behind that because they don't have the foundational skills and the capacity. But also to bring them together in a community so that small businesses don't feel isolated. They've got a sounding board. They've got people to hold them accountable to grow their business. So the people we serve are those people who have an idea and want to build a business and create a business, or who have ventured into business and they're just sort of fumbling along, and we need to help them and get the solid foundations. I guess the concept is if you were going to build a house with no foundation, that house would not stand. And the same comes with business. And sadly, there are no rule books. There are no barriers to starting a business in Australia, and I suspect possibly the same elsewhere, in that people can go and set up a shingle and then hope to goodness they get it right. And it can be a bit of a leap of faith. And sadly, the statistics of small business failure is way too high for my business partner and I to sit back and do nothing. So this is about giving them the skills and the solid foundation so they can build and scale their business. So they're the people we serve.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's a strong sense of purpose there as well behind what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Between Nick and I, we've been through many, many challenges of business, liquidations, trademark issues, GFCs, flooding, fires, literally, all those things. A lot of the joys as well, but there comes a lot of challenges with that. I don't want to call them a low because I see them as a great place to learn about how to do things differently in business. So
wonderful. Well, I would say that with your previous 20, 30-year experience and your current focus, I would say that you've got a lot to add to the conversation around a 6-star business. So I'm looking forward to that. Matt, what about you? Where are you based, sir?
I'm between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, actually, otherwise known as the Promised Land. Get to sort of get the best of both worlds. But it's where the weather is beautiful one day and perfect the next. Is that right? Am I doing my bit for Tourism Queensland? So you see, no, it's a great place to live. We just look out there and looking over Stradbroke Island, which is
nice.
not a bad place to look at. But if anyone's been around me for I think more than maybe 5 minutes, you've heard me say something cutesy like "we all do better together." And when I say that, I genuinely mean it, because it's whilst people don't disagree with it, I think it means a lot more than just a cute little phrase that we all do better together. And what I mean by that is that I focus in on what is it we're doing and who do you do better with, because they're two important ingredients of that cute little statement that we all do better together. Because we all know what it's like to invest time with people who are on a different page, and that can be a little bit like trying to jackhammer through granite with a teaspoon. It's possible, but unbelievably unnecessarily hard. And then what is it you do with everyone trying to find their own way to unify people and the actions around unifying people so that everyone can win? It's when you get it right, it's worth it. You can change and make impact. You can develop business. I think things are unnecessarily complicated, particularly for business owners, and they don't need to be, particularly on the hardest part too of finding opportunities, getting plugged into opportunities. What do they say? Something like 85% of a business's fuel is spent on either trying to find new business and sales and operations. And I think that's too much fuel. Wouldn't you rather be working on the important things and getting some of that energy saved by knowing the right people and connecting with the right people, having a human sort of centric, we do better together type of approach. So I think that's
who do you serve in that?
Good question. There's two. I own 3 businesses, but two are in particular a major focus at the moment. One is where we met yourselves through the Connect Collaborative, and so its focus is on helping individuals, helping people, professionals from all walks of life, whether they be C-suite, whether they be track record entrepreneurs, whether they be startups, entrepreneurs. We find that everybody recognizes that we all do better together and they need to surround themselves with the right people. But how do you do that? So we've set up a system to help people to expand their networks, find great collaborative, team-oriented people. And the platform puts them together and allows them to cross-pollinate with equipped and proven collaborative, team-oriented people. And so the focus there is on helping, I guess, people with ambition, people with a goal, people with a purpose. I don't seem to sit well or work well with those that are chasing just a sort of a one-dimensional outcome. I've got budget to meet. Let's find a way to make that happen, and job's done. You can't move mountains with people like that. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, this I don't know whether Matt, Joanne, whether you listen to podcasts. The ones that I tend to listen to are either true crime, which this podcast is not that, unless you've got anything to confess to.
There's no dead bodies here.
And the other kind is kind of like question and answer, kind of interviewer and interviewee, and this is different to both of those in that it's much more. Think of it much more of a group of friends sitting around a table in a pub or a restaurant and just having a conversation, really. So although Avalon might ask a question to Matt, Joanne, you might pick up on something that Matt says and want to sort of chime in. So just come at it from that perspective. Okay. And Avalon, when you hear about Matt and Joanne's experience and current focus, what comes to mind? What's the first thing you want to ask to kind of get this conversation around 5-star, crush that 6-star business off and running?
Great question. So one of the first things that really jumped out to me first when Joanne spoke was this, obviously so much experience in business and seeing the big gap in the market and really wanting to help business owners in that particular space, starting and having that foundations for their business so that there aren't so many businesses failing. So that she's not doing it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joanne. What I felt was that you are coming at it from a true place of meaning and a place of we actually care. We've got a heart around this. We've got a bigger purpose and we are driven by that purpose.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And when Matt spoke, it was all the same. It's all about connecting people and only wanting to do business with people who believe in the greater good when we come together, rather than that isolation kind of silo approach to transacting in business. So, would that be a good summary, Matt?
Spot on.
So, given that we're all coming from that human-centered approach, I got a question, and that is, when you go to give a rating for a service or to a business where you've transacted or you've experienced the delivery of their product or service, are you happy to give ratings? And what's your minimum or maximum? Because I know that some people say, well, I never give a rating, or my maximum's always 4. I'm really keen to know how you approach that. Joanne, do you want to go first?
Sure. I guess I don't intrinsically think about a number as to what makes them a 6-star business, but what I will do and what I would love our clients to do for us is to become a advocate or promoter of that business. So if I've had a great experience with somebody, and for me, there's a number of elements that sit around that, is I'll tell people, and I'm happy to share. And now we have the wonders of technology that we can leave a review on people's businesses' websites and Facebook groups and things like that. So for me, yes, and some of those systems do ask for a number. I'll have no issue with if it's well-deserved and it ticks all the boxes for me. I will give them, if their top rating is 5 on their Facebook page or those, I'm more than happy to give that. And I want, I'd like to think that my clients then want to talk about me because we've done something amazing and actually made the impact. So as I said, I don't consciously think of a number, but I'll actually make a point of talking about it because I know that's what I want to receive. We're all really good at sharing poor performance, but we're not so reactionary to go, I actually need to tell people about this thing. This is a really good business and people need to know about it. So as I said, I don't necessarily stick to a number in my mind.
Yeah, that's great. And I love the way that you have the approach of that karmic kind of natural things coming back to you. If you go out in the world and treat other businesses that way, that's exactly how you'd like it to work for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to the question, Matt, but are you a 4-star or 5-star man? Do you give 5-star ratings when it's deserved, or is 4 your max?
I give 5 stars and I can't wait to do it. But it's I'm a little bit different, I think, very much aligned with what Joanne was saying, but the way I go about it, I think, is a little bit different. I'm the one on planet Earth that's not on social media. They haven't quite got saturation yet, and I'm the one that's preventing that. I'm on LinkedIn, beg your pardon, but you won't find me on anywhere else. Reasons, I guess that's for another podcast, but what I'd much rather do is communicate with them directly, and I'd love to call out the particular person that's made the difference. I've never been wowed by a piece of tech. I've been impressed by a piece of tech, but it's not the thing that's made a difference to me. It's not the thing I'm excited about to show others or to get others involved with. It always comes back down to a person, and it could just be the way I look at things, the way I'm wired, etc. And I want to shout that from the rooftop. So I usually write a LinkedIn comment to them. I put a post about them. I write an email to the owners or find a way to contact them just to deliberately call out, like Joanne was saying, call out good experiences and good behaviours. The negative ones I don't do.
Does that mean that even if you so let's say you experience service at a business, would you give the would you message on the business page on LinkedIn, or would you find the individual that you wanted to shout out? What do you do specifically there?
Yeah, the individual and the person they report into, if that's the case, because they need to know. So if you can get more Pete's, Joanne's, Evelyn's in your business because they're doing a great job, this is exciting. And I'd promote that person and as default that business to the cows come home, because you can rely on that type of experience.
It's interesting to me, Evelyn, that both Matt and Joanne talked around the advocacy piece, and I wonder if that's what the sixth dimension is that we're talking about. One of the other things that you mentioned, Joanne, was if it ticks all the boxes, and you kind of you did that. What are some of those boxes that you look to be ticked when considering what the rating you give a business?
Sure. So I guess the first thing is, did it deliver the service or product that I went to that business for in a seamless way? They actually use my name. There are businesses that you can walk into and you go, oh, this feels really good. This has a really nice feeling. So how it makes me feel. Not that I want to be treated as special, but I wanted to be treated as important, that I've taken the bother to physically walk in, or I've rung them, or those sort of things. So they actually deliver what they promise they will deliver. And maybe it's just this little, I like to use the phrase purple cow, just a little bit more than other people, and they go to the effort, and they're actually personable people. So, I guess for me, it's how does it make me feel? Did I get the product or service that I want? Yeah, first, there's no point walking out without the product or service that I was looking for. And did they make me feel important or valued? Maybe that's a better word, valued, because they actually appreciate me walking in the door. Like even you go into Woolworths, and sometimes you come across these people that are just doing the groceries for the heck of it. But there are some people who love it, and they actually have a name badge on. So I always make a point of going, thank you, Sarah, for working on Sunday afternoon to be available for me to get my groceries. Really? Yeah, I really appreciate it. I don't want to work Sunday afternoon to get my groceries. I want to go and get them. But I actually make a point of saying, thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate you being there.
It's interesting you mentioned that, Joanne. I often think, when I see people in that kind of environment, and just like, just frowning and just looking really pissed off, in my head, I think your job would provide you so much more satisfaction if you just smiled. Just smile. Your life would change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Evelyn, what's your take on what Joanne just shared there? Again, I think I know what the answer is going to be.
Joanne is showing me again that she comes from such a natural human perspective, where she's actually emotionally aware of others around her, and she understands the position that they're in. So she knows that by injecting that feedback to them and that gratitude, that's going to then in turn make that a better encounter. It's going to help them feel better about themselves, operate in a different way, have a better experience. And that in turn is going to impact other people. So it's the flow-on effect.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Matt, when was the last time that you gave a 5-star rating?
Well, probably Thursday last week. It might have been, and it wasn't so much about ticking a box for a 5-star rating. It was just going to the effort to roll out the red carpet for introductions for that person. Yep. And I just found in the position that they're in, they work within a council, which comes as a package deal, really working in local government. And for me, they just stood out heads and shoulders. And they're in a position with affecting how businesses can thrive and sustain themselves in post-COVID, right? And so they're very proactive in the way they think. Everything is on the table. Every idea is considered. Every connection is valued and valuable. I felt that when I was in their presence and in the handful of interactions we've had, half a dozen sort of meetings and catch-ups, and just getting a feel to the point where I just got wowed. I was invited to an event as a guest, and this is just last Thursday, and I got invited as a guest, and didn't realize, but I was invited on table one, which I just wasn't expecting that. And of all the people he could have invited, he sort of chose little old me, which was a bit chuffed with. And so in return, I've understood clearly what they're looking for as an economic development group, and set up actual introduction for 11 strongest contacts that I have that would be appropriate for him to make these introductions, because I'm just proud to brag about what he's done, him as a connection, proud to collect the kudos in between, but I want to really stay on his radar, and the best way I can do that is to sing his praises and get him in front of people that matter to him.
So it seems to me, Matt, that a 5-star rating for you is something much more active and proactive than that I've certainly thought of it, in terms of, I'm going to give that business a 5-star rating. For you, if a business deserves a 5-star rating, you're actually going to get off your backside and do something concrete with that. Would that be fair?
Yeah. I don't see any other way of doing it, Pete. Just personally, wow. It's if you if you're sincere in why that's a 5-star, a 6-star, like a wow moment in time, and it doesn't have to be the best this and the best that and sort of thing. It's just that wow, Joanne's words, like holy cow, I matter. It's that feeling, and I also think strategically it's really smart too, because who do you want to surround yourself with? Like, I want to surround myself with people like that who know how to treat people and how they matter. And you can find them everywhere. Like whilst not everybody operates that way, there are enough, and you can find them everywhere. And when you find them, build a strong network for and with them. It's a team of people who can treat people as though they matter. Again, you can move mountains with that, change industries, change perspectives. I think it's got to be tied to an action. It's so easy just to click and go, yay, there's a thumbs up, and then I feel like I've done my thing. It's that's more about making a point, and I think making a point is just too easy. Making a difference is hard, and I think it's probably why most people don't, because it requires too much work.
Wow. This podcast episode is reaching depths of profundity which even I didn't think it was able to get. I'm so glad this has been recorded, because most of the calls I'm on with you, Matt, are not recorded, and yet you're pretty consistent with your Kreisisms as has become to be known. I think there's one there's one there which we're going to have to play back in terms of making a difference. Evelyn, how surprised are you to hear this sort of seems to be the common theme, the kind of the human the human connection, and I've lost track of the number of times I've heard the word how I feel, the feeling word. What's your experience?
It's funny. One part of me is like nodding and laughing, just going, well, of course. And the other part of me is actually really surprised that, like you said, at this point in this episode, we've already reached a depth of understanding about human needs, human connection, and how that relates to our experiences, that I'm actually surprised. And the previous conversations that Peter and I have had with other business owners on this topic prior to coming to this episode haven't reached this level. So for that, I'm truly grateful, because it's setting an amazing benchmark for us. And I'm actually really blown away. What I'm getting is, first of all, it's too easy just to click a button and make a rating. So if someone's actually delivered you a service that has made you, not only delivered you what you paid for and expected and were promised, but gone out of their way to maybe exceed those expectations, or where they've developed that level of trust with you, it's not enough just to give them a number. No. It's more that you've got to go back with that human connection to acknowledge what they've done and be grateful and pay it back, to then pay it forward.
It's you want to reward the behavior that you want to see repeated. And that type of behavior is not normal. Like they're being courteous and ticking a box. That's normal-ish. But that feeling of that you matter, no matter what the service or the profession is, That's unique.
Yeah.
Sorry, John, I just wanted to touch on something Matt said there, that you said you want to reward the behavior you want to see more of, and as a business owner, I can definitely get that. But you don't stand to gain anything from rewarding that behavior. So why do it?
Oh, it's a little bit utopian, but you live in a better world. Well, what I think is better. You know, like you know what it's like when someone sings your praises, or just, you know, for no agenda. Not that there's anything wrong with an agenda, but if you're only playing 100% in that agenda space, you only scratch my back if you scratch mine. There's a time and a place for that. But a bit like Joanne was saying before, it's about, you know, sharing a good deed, sharing a good word, being deliberate with who you tip your hat to and thank them, and be specific about what you're thanking them for. That person just gets elevated. And I've done this from high profile athletes to politicians to executives to kids, and like, just, we're all human, and you just know when they get elevated and they're on cloud nine, that's a ripple effect. And I think it's a good thing to be doing.
Joanne, what were you going to say?
For me, as a business owner, I would love somebody to come to me and say, hey, did you know that your staff, they're purple cow, as I keep saying. This person actually made me feel really amazing. So what you want is that, as a business owner, I'm not always at the front of the forward-facing piece. I'm not always the person speaking to and interacting with clients. And you hope and trust that your staff are doing what you ask them to do and all those sort of things, and those are taking ownership of their role. And I love the concept of Robin Sharma's book in The Leader with No Title, is that you want your staff to take a leadership role in your business, regardless of whether they have whatever title they're called. It doesn't matter whether you're a receptionist or an office manager. You want them and hope and trust that they will, but you're not always there. So I think as a business owner, it is edifying to know that your team are on point. We all hear the bad news, and you've got to rectify that. But when you've got somebody who, or a team or an office, just go that one inch above the crowd. As a business owner, you need to know that, so that you can go, okay, so what makes this work? How do we multiply this? How do we build on that? And for me, that is when you get this amazing feeling that it's a great business to do business with. So, and it's edifying for the staff. You know, that creates loyalty and tenure and all those wonderful things you want in your staff in a business.
Edifying. That's the best word.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to throw this question over to you then. If I was to say, right, what are the ingredients then to achieving, I'm going to say 6-star success?
Yeah.
So if you could imagine everything that you've done to date by giving that feedback to these businesses has been your benchmark of 5-star. If you could give, if it was 6-star, what are the ingredients to achieve that? Matt? Joanne.
No. Well, for me, it's not just doing their job. It is taking a leadership role. It is just going that one step above than everybody else. It is being memorable in that they know your name, that they're, all the normal polite stuff. However, that's just doing your job. It is where they actually just 1 inch above the crowd. They're just doing that extra something. And you can see, in my mind, those people are in that place, they love what they do. So there's something has been built within that business, whether the business owner, and we're a big advocate for this, is that a business owner needs to tap into their why and their purpose. And they need to share that with their team, and they need to share that when they recruit, and they need to enable staff who don't align with those to exit gracefully. But when you can bring people in and you actually know and can articulate your why, and you share your vision, you don't hide it from anybody, and you share it, and you have the team coming along with you on that ride and that journey, not dragging, but coming along willingly on that journey. For me, that is the ingredient that actually just takes up that one extra step, and it's an emotional piece.
Love it.
So that's the one that takes it from a 5 to a 6-star.
You bet. every time.
Okay. Love it. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Matt, what about yourself? What are your thoughts?
When you just asked that question before, I knew exactly where I was going to go with this, and I was about to preface it with, I'm going to respond, I think, a little bit differently to what you might have intended. But then Joanne comes through and just hits it from the exact same angle. It's magic.
Hey.
I feel validated, Joanne. Thank you. and wise. Yeah. But it's
so you're not allowed to say ditto. So
oh, damn.
I've got my words around that, and that's about I think you got to genuinely care, and that's about knowing that what you do matters. I'm not sure if it's a Roald Dahl book or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but it was one of the books where the father of the main character in the book, his job is about screwing lids on toothpaste tubes. I think does that ring a bell for anyone? James the Giant Peach. I don't know. Anyway, one of them.
No, I'll have to look it
one
up.
of them. I'm sure it's. And yeah, maybe I've made it up and dreamt it, but I'm sure it's one of Roald Dahl's.
Sounds great. Keep going.
But if that's your profession, if that's your vocation, that's your role. It's not that putting the lid on matters. It's that's just a vehicle for you doing what you do, right? And so the people you impact, if you're getting on the bus of a morning, etc., like it's how you impact. And so you got to genuinely care. And I think in that business setting, finding people and surrounding yourself with people who genuinely care is just unbelievably challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can find them, it's like you've probably experienced shared experience with others, or a shared trauma with others. That's probably another way of thinking of it. When you go through hell and back, I mean, if you're going through hell, A, don't stop, B, keep going. But it's who you surround yourself with during that time. And that's what I so much respect by what Joanne's doing, particularly with Navigate Biz, is that her background is she's been to hell and back, and you can't beat her out of this with a stick. Like she will just stand up, and for you, you picked the wrong fight. And so when you can, because what she does matters. It's much more than just having a business with a success with a particular sized bank account. It matters what she's doing. And so it's that thing about you can put tick boxes to what someone like Joanne does, and yourself, Pete, and Evelyn as well. I think you're absolutely identical to this. You can put tick boxes to what you do, but there's no magic to it. Like there's no secret formula. I think it's about, except you've got to care. If you can add care into that whole recipe, it just makes all the difference. And I think our job is to find more people like that, and everything else will fall into place.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah. Do you know, I used to interpret messages like that about caring for others, and particularly in the business sense. Like I particularly work well in the B2B sense, and as my consultancy works in that space, core strategies, and we do a lot in that B2B space. But I always bring it back down to people. And I find I used to think of that idea of being valuable to others was finding them an opportunity, finding them something that they can sell, right? Or a client, basically. But when you stop and actually bother to ask them what's important to them, and you earned the right to ask that, what's important to people just blow you away. And I made one of the biggest mistakes ever, and the guy doesn't even realize now, but this would have been some 15 years ago. And met a gentleman who owned a small printing company, and got to really like him, and just know, like, and trust him. And I just assumed he's in business. What he wants is more clients. And so I had another contact who used to print the tourism maps. And those maps you'd find in hotels and service stations and, tourism hotspots, etc. for, unfold the map. You remember those days with paper when you'd unfold the map?
In other words, could have been a great contract for
it. And then you went like this, because it was always upside down.
So I ended up making that contact for them, Pete, and I introduced them, and that turned out to be, for that printer, over $40,000 a month of new business, right, as an ongoing contract. But I assumed that that's what he wanted. So he said yes. And I think partly because what he assumed he needed too was more business. What ended up happening, you had to get more machines to handle that, more staff. I met him, I probably saw him 4, 5, 6 months after that. And he's got his bed moved in to the his shop, right? And he sleeps there now just to service this one particular client. And then tragically, I don't know if this is related or not, but in my mind, just sort of stitching these together, that the marriage fell apart. And you don't need a crystal ball to figure out if you're spending your life in at the office that other things are going to suffer. Now, that may have been a direct correlation or not, but I don't think it's too far from the truth. And that was a mistake. I didn't bother to ask him what really mattered and what he was really looking for. And I sent him a customer, a big customer, and probably contributed to the ruining of it.
But then, Matt, he may not have been aware what he needed. Like if he said yes, he may not have been aware. And he might still got the same answer, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think most people too aren't aware either, and it's uncomfortable, isn't it, when you're asking.
Yes.
Well, have you heard of going 6 whys deep? WHY, go 6 whys deep.
Yeah. Why? Why?
And it's not about. That's right. It's not about being a toddler and going why.
Yeah. Yes.
But so what does that mean? So if you've got that happening, what does that then enable? And if that's working to its potential, what does that allow you to do? And then what does that mean? All these different variations of asking why, and you get down to it. At the end of the day, people want memories, relationships, and experiences. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
So mindful of the time, kind of again, a criticism. Could be thinking about bringing this in for a landing. You taught me everything I know, Matt. So what in light of everything that's been talked about, what can you both individually share about what is in place in your own businesses to elicit the kind of things that we've been talking about, that constitute what we're calling a 6-star business? And if nothing, that's fine, because tomorrow is another day.
Well, I guess for me, we're guiding businesses to tap into their why and their purpose. So that's something that we encourage within our business. For really quickly, as an example, we've got a young lady who works in our business who has a side hustle, and her side hustle is to sell environmentally friendly manufactured shoes. And I thought that was her only thing. But by taking the time to have a conversation with her, it actually turns out she wants to change legislation in Australia about how manufacturing is done. And she's done this side hustle to show that it can be done. And I went, oh my God, we need to share that, and you need to talk about that, and you need to show the horrible pictures of the rubbish in the oceans, all those things. She said, really? I went, oh my God, yes. I said, I had no idea this, and I'm so glad I had this conversation with you, because for me, that just it's a song to my heart, because she's building a business, and that's what we're about, but also guiding her through what she should be talking about, to speak to her audience, because there are other people out that hate that piece, and they will absolutely speak to her. And she said, but I might lose some customers. I said, but you're going to find a whole lot more, because you're talking to your why, and that is really important for Nick and I. So when we can see our business clients get the light bulb go off, and they can actually identify what their legacy is, that means you don't need me anymore, and that just gives me goosebumps when we can do that. So we need to walk the talk within the business. So we endeavour to do that every day.
Yeah, love it.
Matt, what about you?
I'm madly listening to Joanne and writing down a couple of things, so I don't miss a couple of points. But so you heard it here first. I was multitasking. Impressed. I think with the Connect Collaborative, we've always had an ethos that if people come into our space and if they leave our space, that they should have a very a easy and graceful exit, and they should feel good about it. They can determine whether it's the right place for them or not. We're geared to help people to develop a professional network and develop one that's actually worth doing something with, right? Not about collecting followers, etc., like a real human connections. And so we've always had that attitude that if people leave our space and if they can turn around and say, you know what, something I got from yourselves was the gift of clarity, then I think we've done our job. And that clarity is achieved by asking questions. We're not afraid of asking courageous questions, and we want to empower others to ask courageous questions. And Evelyn, when you and I had that time on the I was going to say phone. Who uses the phone these days? On the video conference call, on the cup and spoon. So when we had that, I just felt it was your again that you gave that gift of clarity, asking questions, another perspective, and it's that moment in time that you go, you know, you not only do you remember that forever, but the trajectory towards your destination took a turn in a better direction. And so it's asking questions, and you are profoundly excellent at that. And so that's what we want to instill within the Connect Collaborative, about having courageous questions. It's Pete, your comments on you very eloquently ask, so what's your MRR? You know, what's your monthly recurring income? And then I've heard you say, following that up in conversation with people, is because it's very hard to give your best and to make a difference when you don't have your monthly recurring revenue sorted. Yeah. And it is so true. I mean, imagine what's keeping people from saying thank you to somebody, as simple as that, or keeping somebody from not bringing grey clouds in, or keeping somebody from performing better or doing a better job because they've got a grey cloud or the urgent over them. And getting the MRR sorted is just that's freeing. That's freeing. So that's something that we're doing in the Connect Collaborative, is to help equip more people to ask more courageous questions to help with that gift of clarity. And the other thing that I'd say with core strategies is what I do there. I think it's more about, in that instance, selecting the right people to work with. And so I will never work in that core strategies. I won't work with clients who have never tried to solve that problem themselves before. I'm not going to be the first one. I want you to tell me stories of blood and gore of how you tried and fell over and lost an arm, lost a limb, and all, and you're still going, and you're still trying to solve a particular problem or find a breakthrough. And it's like, okay, now I know you're serious. We can now do something. And so finding people like that, to surround yourself with, means you can deliver your best, which means you get this 6-star collaboration going and performance that people are happy to share and engage, and it's contagious now. So
Matt, what I hear in that, Matt, when you say that, that means you are tapping into your why and your values when you interact with your clients, and that's a not negotiable. And I think that's awesome, absolutely awesome.
And that's interesting too, Evelyn, because it speaks very much to what you do at Journey Point, in terms of helping customers figure out the who.
Yes, exactly. It's all about that, and focusing on the person rather than the product.
Correct.
And talking to the person through the lens of your purpose.
Yes.
And what their needs are then through that. So this conversation has blown my mind, by the way, because I didn't expect this.
That's not easy. That's not easy to do. I know from experience.
No. So we're in its most simplistic form. What I'm going to summarize from what I'm, what you guys have all said, is that in order to create the 6-star business, you need to tap into your why, your purpose. Not only live that and breathe it every day, you hire the right people and you attract the right clients who are aligned with that. Then that surrounds you, and also the network that you build around you, again, aligned, same, purpose.
Yes.
Then you are set up for almost an exponential, or this complete out of, I'm trying to, this expansive kind of vibrational lift that could only result in you not only caring about the people that you interact with, your customers, but showing them what you do in a way that others just can never, it's on, it is that other level.
Yeah.
But it can only be achieved through the heart and the alignment with self and who you really are, and not from a cerebral conceptual place or a strategic move or a left brain process.
Yes.
Or some new marketing tactic.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. And it's leaving the ego at the door. Ego doesn't come into it because it's not welcome. It's absolutely not welcome.
It's so true. It's like you're trying to win or earn the right for the hearts, minds, eyes, ears of others, mouths of others. And what you're asking for them when you're giving them an experience, and you want to impact them so much they're compelled to share and to add value, and they know their relationship with that other entity, that other person, is going to be enhanced by bringing you into the mix. And so it's a lot to ask of somebody else, and you can't really ask for it. Like you've got to demonstrate it and be worthy of it, which is why I'm such a big fan of having a large advocating network, because you need a large one in order to have enough of that going on for you. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, all I can say, Matt and Joanne, is that you have set the bar so high for these conversations, which is great. And I'm so pleased that I'm pleased about two things. One, that Evelyn, because these first half dozen conversations, we've manually paired people up, the guests up. Going forward, where there'll be an element of serendipity, where that just two people will be on the call each time. So firstly, I'm really pleased that Evelyn paired you two together, and secondly, that you're the first conversation that we had, because it's really set the tone for us. For future conversations. And we may have guests in the future that disagree vehemently with stuff that's been said, and that's great, because discussion and debate and whatever is always welcome. But I value Joanne. We've not met before, apart from kind of just on a wall of Zoom faces. So it's nice to have.
Thank you. I was really honoured to be invited. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Appreciate your time and your energy and your input and expertise.
My pleasure.
And Evelyn, any last words?
Yeah, I just want to say, imagine if just 1% of businesses around the world operated in the way that we've just talked about, that literally would have a massive ripple effect.
Yeah,
huge. Onto more businesses, and that would then grow, and we'd reach 10%. And imagine that. We truly would change the world.
Indeed.
Oh, that's in a world where contagions are running rife at the moment. You guys have got something going on here that's worth catching, and you're contagious for all the right reasons. So that ripple effect, I think, I can't wait to play my part and all that.
This isn't just a podcast; it's a movement.
Indeed. Yeah. Yes. And congratulations! Like, really honoured to be part of it, and there's such a good message in what you're talking about. So I can't wait to hear the others. So thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Much gratitude to you. Thank you,
Great.
Matt. Very grateful for you.
Thanks, Evelyn. And we'll be back same time, same place next week, I guess.
We will. I so appreciate you.
No trouble.
I don't know about you.
Wow.
Hashtag mind blown. What a great conversation.
Oh my gosh. What an amazing conversation. What
an amazing pair.
I know. Talk about setting the benchmark for the first episode with guests. I'm blown away. I hope that you are listening and watching are as blown away and, compelled and amazed as we are. And you've got as much from it as we did. Oh my gosh, my mind is just spinning. I just want to actually listen to it again.
Yeah, because hearing it, that's not a bad idea, actually, because when you're in a conversation, you can't always pick everything up. So, yeah, that's definitely note to self. Listen back to that. Probably a good thing to do for all of them. Anyway, is there anything that we want to leave people with? Is there anything that they can do or see or be or?
Yeah, I think one thing we want to recommend, if you do want to focus on your customer journey, to take that next step, we recommend a scorecard. And it's at journeypoint.com.au/scorecard. The link is in the description below. Go there and rate yourself and see how you are rating in terms of your customer journey.
Yeah, great. Go and do that. And the next thing you can do after that is listen to the next episode. So until then, it's goodbye from the both of us. Bye.
Bye.